It's me, Chris Stuckmann.
Oh, hey Chris, how are you?
Oh, not bad, not bad. Not bad at all, not bad. I had an idea about a collaboration.
A collaboration?
You ever seen a movie Scarface? Tony Montana? Brian De Palma? Oliver Stone? Hermano Pacino? I'm a bad man. This is a bad guy. This is a bad guy. You mess with me, Tony Montana, you're gonna get yours. I got something for you, cockroach. Say hello to my little friend.
Hey everybody, it's the freaking film critic here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the movie Scarface, but wait. This is a special review because today I'm going to be reviewing the movie Scarface with a good friend of mine, Mr. Chris Stuckmann.
Now, I had never seen Scarface before, and I found out that it was going to be showing in theaters on a special night in celebration of the Blu-ray. So I asked Victor, my buddy, freaking film critic, hey, you want to see Scarface together the same night in 2 different states? Yeah! So we did, and I got to finally experience Scarface for the first time on the big screen, which was really cool.
So Scarface tells the story of Tony Montana, a Cuban who entered US territory during the Mariel boat lift. He's sent to a refugee camp where he's given a job in exchange for a green card, and that job is to murder a communist inside the camp. The same guy who had given Tony that job in the camp would later on in the film be known as the man who makes Tony one of the most successful cocaine-selling Cubans in the country. Do you know what I'm saying, man?
Antonio Montana. And you? What you call yourself?
Where'd you learn to speak the English, Tony?
In a school. And my father, he was from the United States. Yeah, just like you know.
The rest of the film is pretty much the rise and fall of Tony Montana, played in a very exaggerated manner by Al Pacino.
Victor summed up the plot very well. Al Pacino, drug lord, rising from power. All you really need to know is that Al Pacino is in this movie, and Al Pacino is on full-on Al Pacino mode. He's one of my favorite actors. He's brilliant, and yeah, you know what? People say that he's crazy now because he's in all these random movies like Jack and Jill and stuff, but you know what? The guy's paid his dues. People say about Jackie Chan nowadays that he's lost it. Guess what? The guy's broken every bone in his body. He's paid his dues, give him a break.
The performances weren't necessarily good in my opinion, but they were nonetheless entertaining to watch. Al Pacino screaming in a Cuban accent is some of the funniest stuff I've ever seen.
Then when you get the money, you get the power. Then when you get the power, then you get the woman. Scarface.
The film was directed by Brian De Palma, who directed some pretty badass action scenes in this movie and made sure to make every scene as excessively violent as possible. The movie was also written by Oliver Stone, who at the time of writing the screenplay was actually struggling through a cocaine addiction, which is why the movie was so insane. As over the top as the screenplay was, Oliver Stone still wrote some pretty iconic dialogue. Most notably, of course,
Say hello to my little friend!
and of course, Revenga!
Brian De Palma is a great director, and he's made a lot of movies I really enjoy, but he gives this movie such a visceral feel. But in De Palma's direction and Oliver Stone's writing and the depiction of a guy who is trying to rise to power in a criminal world, it's realistic in that it doesn't make it seem like it's a fun lifestyle. A lot of times it happens in movies where like crime bosses are living the best life and they're so happy and they're getting everything they want. No. In this film, everything goes wrong for him. I mean, his love life terrible. Business with his job falling apart. Everything just goes terrible for him, and it's realistic and that it depicts that, and I really like that about this movie.
The film as a whole is really over the top and insane, but so much to a point where it's kind of hard to take this movie seriously. The majority of the scenes in this movie were laughable in my opinion because they were either very over the top or came out of nowhere. Like, there's a random montage with the song Push It to the Limit, which just comes out of nowhere, and I felt like I was watching a scene from The Karate Kid. There are also scenes where the camera would slowly zoom in on Al Pacino's face with some really weird synthesized piano music, and it was just really funny.
My biggest flaw really with the film is that it's incredibly long. It's like 3 hours long, and it just seemed like it needed to be a little bit shorter than that. But at the same time, basically this movie is a perfect showcase for Al Pacino. He created one of the best characters of all time, and Brian De Palma gave this movie such a tight, intense feel. The whole finale of the film, I was just biting my nails. It was very well done. It's just too long, really, in my opinion, and that's really the only thing that weighed it down for me. And it does kind of seem dated at times, and when I look at older movies nowadays, one of the biggest things I look for is if it appears dated. And this film does kind of appear dated at times with the 80s music.
As silly as Scarface got at times, it's still a very iconic film and very important in film history. And I say that because I think this is the first mobster movie to ever come out that wasn't necessarily so over the top to the point where it was stupid, but over the top to the point where it was awesome. As hyperbolic as Al Pacino's performance was, it was so cool seeing him just shoot everybody, and I don't know why, it's just really entertaining to see a crazy person shoot people. I think this is the kind of movie that needs to be exaggerated. It needs to be over the top to actually be entertaining. And for a 3-hour movie, it entertained the hell out of me. I'm gonna give Scarface a B+.
I really enjoyed Scarface, and I would give it a B+. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm gonna do more collab reviews very soon. Victor's my dude. Check him out too. Awesome.